Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the BSR MX5 Monday Cup here at Mid-Ohio here in beautiful Lexington, Ohio. I am Austin. I am joined by Marco Barbonera. Marco, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. Hello everyone. Hello Austin. And yes, the season winding down. We are only 2 rounds away from the conclusion of the championship, and we have a USA swing to close out the proceedings in this championship. Cannot wait to see what happens tonight, because this track, as you can tell us, being that this was once your backyard, if I'm not mistaken, it's a very, very challenging racetrack for these guys.
Yes, it is. Mid-Ohio is a very tricky track and fun track, but if you get a little bit too comfortable, it's going to bite you in the back, especially with the winding in the hills section that we're looking at Carl Hardy in right now. He's actually coming out of it, and that carousel that he's coming up to is so tricky because it tightens up at the end and will spit you out. And you really need to nail this corner as hard as you can, as we see Carl going a little bit wide, avoiding the apex. And actually, we have some news starting before we start this race. Driver signing, actually.
Yeah, the transfer market is going crazy, even though it's the end of the season, because we have some new drivers, and we will see them as we go through the starting grid. Year one racing, splashing the cash, as they would say in football-related terms, and getting a lot of drivers on board for these final few rounds of the season. But before that, let's go to the starting grid, shall we?
Yes, we is Carl Jacqueline and Ben Sharp. Ben Sharp, one of the year one acquisitions. It's a all year one front row. They're followed by Kip Stevens, Carl Hardy, Tyler Maxson, Andy Maxwell, Charles Kellyman, Liam Silkstone, Craig Jones, David Ayers, Scott Malcolm, Michael Berry, Lee Deemer, Steve Cooley, Martin Sampson, Dale Bennison, Nicholas Swinsko, Phil Regan, Steve Hansford, Alan Toon, Max Wright, Wouter van Essen, and Mark Westwood at the very end.
So the cars are about to start their formation. Wouldn't call it a formation lap, more of a formation curve. Yeah. So, well, Mid-Ohio, I actually raced personally in this car in the Pro Series 1 year ago, more or less. It was, as per usual, a disaster of an evening for me, since I lack the required talent to keep these cars onto the racetrack. But the thing I remember the most, reverse grid was just one. I could have started would have been my only pole position in BSR competition. I just missed it by one, and that was because I wasn't able to pass Mikey Key in the final lap. Mikey sadly not racing with us tonight, but he defended very, very well, and he ended up getting the reverse pole. So, you know, I still have a bit of a bitter feeling, because at least I wanted to start a race from pole to enjoy the carnage, that I would have inevitably caused. But maybe it's better for everyone else that I missed the reverse grid pole on that day. Seems like Kip Stevens will take the start. I guess he's going to give him an end of line penalty. And yeah, the cars are rolling.
Yeah, Kip is pulling off right now, and the red comes onto his circle, and yeah, he's just letting everyone else pass. He did his qualifying lap. He flexed his muscles, showing everybody where he is on track, and it's going to start from the back for the rest of the pros. But we're already green flag racing, and Carl Jacqueline takes a massive jump, and so did Tyler Maxson. Tyler actually got 2 people off the start. One of those being Kip. But year one leads out, followed by Fury Simsport Academy, Tyler Maxson, Ben Sharp, and Carl Jacqueline. Your 3 leaders. They're followed by Carl Hardy, your top 4.
Very clean start from everyone, as we see Maxson, who is not afraid to send, and of course has experience, I think also in real life, around the SU, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, around this racetrack. So certainly some home field advantage for you guys, as Maxson is putting 2 wheels on the grass in the first lap, trying to get them moved on.
That was a lot of cone murdering right there, but that did give him a little bit more speed on the newly signed Ben Sharp. Ben and Tyler going side by side, but Tyler on the inside. Tyler dive bomb. Maxon making his name well used right there, but that wasn't really much of a dive bomb, more like a calm overtake, something we haven't seen from Tyler a lot. But he's certainly making it work out. Already 3 places up. We'll fight in the background between Steve Cooley and Martin Sampson. These guys going side by side. Still side by side through here, almost 3 wide. It looks like Martin Sampson wants to hop in with this, but David Ayers is the one ahead of this pack.
Oh, Michael Berry.
Oh.
He's around as we move back to the front because this fight is getting feisty. As Carl Hardy is also joining the party here. You know, we love covering this series, and I'm a bit sad that we are about to end another season, even though it will start then straight away with the fall. After the week 13 break, the schedule is already out. I read it earlier today and I already forgot. But the one thing I remember, the final round of the fall series will be at my favorite Roval of all time, the New Hampshire one. So don't want to miss that. It's like 3 months away, yeah? But, you know.
Yeah, we're already counting down to the next season.
Absolutely.
But currently, we have 2 races left. So let's focus on the present, which is Tyler Maxon and everyone else. Actually, looking at Craig Jones right now. He's having a battle for 5th right now. Just look at this train. Charles Kellerman is at the very front of it, but everyone is so close to each other. And down the IndyCar front straight, or starting straight. IndyCar starts the races back here. On iRacing, we start it regularly. I believe that's to promote closer racing is the reason why IndyCar starts way back there, halfway across the entire field. Some people don't like it. I personally do.
Look at Craig Jones trying to get a move on Andy Maxwell, but Maxwell is defending very well. The unmistakable white and yellow car of Craig Jones, who has gone through some name changes throughout the season, but he's back to his, you know, traditional identity, and he has a couple of allies behind him because both Malcolm and Ayers are his teammates, and both of them are very, very close and trying to go and help him. But at the same time, we need to focus on the front because Tyler Maxon 34.9, the fastest lap of the race so far, as Carl Hardy kills a cone.
Yeah, that's some heavy cone murder right there. Cone's life matter as another one just gets obliterated.
I think it was the same one. Like, the poor cone got hit by Craig Jones there. Craig Jones on the outside. Maxwell slower line initially. And Silkstone is around somewhere. Because I see, he's in the grass there.
That's where I have my experience, by the way, in that little pit right there. Spent a lot of the race in that area. But Tyler Maxon going around the outside, go for a switchback move. Doesn't commit to it fully, but he is so close to Carl Jacquelet. Carl, championship leader, I believe.
Yes.
Him and Max is so close to each other, almost bumping and rubbing with each other. The American showing his American pride and American prowess at this track. He's just carving his way through the field, and he sends it up the inside before the drop. Gets a little bit feisty on the exit, but Tyler Maxon and Carl Jacquelet battling out for the lead into the carousel. And it's going to be Tyler Maxon leading it out.
We know that Jacquelet has a chance of clinching the title tonight, so I think he's doing the smart thing by not fighting too hard. There was a little bit of, you know, small door banging there, but nothing major. I mean, it's well within the what we are used to seeing in this series. So I think Jacquelet is doing the smart thing. I mean, stay there, fight for the win if you can, but don't take any stupid risks because when you have one end on the trophy, I think it's most important to get the other end on it and not go to the victory lane in the end of the day.
Yeah, these 4 guys are completely on a different level, and it looks like Ben Sharp trying to show his muscle to the year 1 guys that he is still even though he's new to the team, he is still a force to be reckoned with, and Ben Sharp overtaking his newly named teammate.
Yes, so a move from Sharp. Does he have the discount code in his car? Yes, already the Sharp24 discount code. So they went on to work on that straight away. I mean, kudos to year one. They really know how to do marketing. By the way, as per usual, I'm not a paid spokesperson of year one, even though I wish I was. At least I would get free flip-flops. Or money, I don't know. I prefer money, but flip-flops are good as well.
I don't wear flip-flops. Sorry, year one.
I don't wear them. I don't like to wear them, but they are very cool. I've seen their products on their Facebook page. They are fantastic.
Anyway, back to the race. Carl Hardy is sitting at the very back of this group. Tyler Maxson leading him out with Ben Sharp and Carl Jacquelet, the two year one cars that are chasing him down. And the former teammates actually at the front with Tyler Maxson and Ben Sharp. Both used to be from Fury Sim Sport Academy, but Ben Sharp recently acquired by year one. So hopefully not bad blood between these two. We're looking at the battle for 5th. 6th right now. We're really battle for 10th between Samson and David Ayers.
Yeah, Samson is trying to get into the top 10, knocking on the doors of the top 10 and attacking David Ayers, and seems like he has gotten him on the outside. Will he be able to keep the momentum going? Apparently not, because the white and red car...
He's got him on the exit though.
Yeah.
He had better speed outside of the keyhole turn, going around this little bend, and David Ayers falls to 11th. He's looking up the inside right now, and he might try to send something right here, and yes, he does. David Ayers sends it up to the inside, but on the switchback, Samson trying to fight back, keep that 10th place, but nope, David Ayers stays in 10th.
That was
good defensive move. Ooh, a little bit too... Samson had a little bit too, what's the word? Aggressive turn-in.
I mean, fantastic stuff, fantastic driving. This is not a track that usually gives, a lot of passing opportunities, but we are seeing some fantastic stuff tonight. Maxon made a couple of good overtakes. This battle between Ayers and Samson was great, as well as we are having Westwood going through the daisies there. Didn't lose a position. He was fighting closely with Dial Bennison there, but he will have to settle for P14 for the time being. As the pro races, by the way, Kip Stevens, Max Wright and Wouter Van Essen top 3, and still at the back end of the field, as Carl Jacquelet at the same time goes a bit wide, and this might open the door both for the two leaders to run away, maybe for Carl Hardy to fancy his chances at the podium. Once again, Jacquelet, I think, trying to just bring the car home and get on the... this is the race, the one race in the night where you are the most in control of what you do, basically, because qualifying determines the starting order. If you are quick, you start at the front, and more or less you can control what you do. With the reverses, of course, coming later, that is not going to be the case as much as in this first race. So I think Jacquelet wanting to bring home those points, feeling maybe a little bit of pressure, and the car...
A little bit. Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, but Carl Hardy went off the track while following Carl Jacquelet. I think it was just a simple get onto the curve at low. Got onto the curb, yep, right there, went right into the grasses a little bit.
But you are right in noticing this, because you are not always this lucky. If your car is a little bit unstable there and you put the wheels on the grass, you might end up, hitting a bump or something, or losing control and straight into the wall that is very close there. By the way, Sharp is also getting closer and closer to Maxon.
Yeah, another mistake from Maxon right there. I believe both of them hooked their wheels onto the inside of the pit lane exit curve, and I believe that was just to help them, or they just turned in way too early. But, Ben Sharp is going slow down the straight.
No, it's
No. Ben Sharp slowed up. Coming out of the keyhole, Ben Sharp just let off the throttle a lot, and Carl Jacquelet, I believe his internet.
He's back, but he lost one position already. Maybe his computer. He was having issues with his computer.
Oh, we got a spinner! Hansford and Swing Code. Both these guys getting hit, and
Hansford using
going onto the opposite side of the track.
Yeah, using the alternative line. And now Charles Kellyman is also around as Madness going all over the place. So, if I'm not mistaken, Carl had issues with his system in the past few races. He he had the typical uh, freeze because when your connection is not good or you drop a bit, you reappear back where you were. But he
Yes.
reappeared behind Carl Hardy, so I think he had a system freeze or something, and he lost the position there. He is very lucky to still be in fourth place and fighting for a good finishing result, but yeah, it's not going to be as smooth sailing as he maybe was expecting, as we have Maxwell and Cooley Cooley and Malcolm running side by side into the first corner, with Cooley prevailing for the time being. Let's see once again what happened in that crash there that we had just a few seconds ago, if I can go back and find it, which is because a lot of stuff happened at the same time all together. So here we go, should be this. Should see a car rejoining. No.
Oh, there he goes, off track right there.
That was
Both of them went off track. But
that
no
was not the
consequence.
car I was referring to. I was thinking about number 1. Here we go. So we shall see Swinsko, newcomer to the series, make a mistake in the next couple of corners. And
Oh, he completely hopped over that curb onto the inside. I think it's going to happen in the keel. I think he just broke a little bit too early and will be caught off guard.
so it should happen now. Apologies for the very long replay, but it was a cacophony of events all at the same time that basically happened. No, it was not now as well, so maybe here, one more chance before we go back live. Nope. So, apologies. Let's go back live.
Yeah, going back live. Tyler Max has got a commanding lead over Ben Sharp. Now, I want to bring something. Well, Carl Jacqueline went off and just started disappearing. Ben Sharp also let off on the straight. I believe he may have cut the exit and had a slowdown penalty that he was serving on that straight outside of the keel. That is not the place where you want a penalty. As
Yeah,
a great
absolutely.
battle right here. Look at Cooley and Maxwell. These guys going side by side for sixth position. Cooley up onto the outside, go for that switchback, hopping over the curb, but Andy Maxwell keeping it right there in sixth place. And Cooley, gives him a little rear end job right there. A little bit of rear lift. I don't know if that's going to help him aerodynamically, probably not, but showing Maxwell that he is right here.
And I mean, if we go back to the purpose of this series and the very beginning of this series, Steve is really improving massively as a driver. We were joking back in the days when we first started with him that he basically had in him one big wreck per Monday, and he is reducing the percentage of big wrecks, especially flips, significantly, and having more serious note, a lot of consistent good result. Now he's a long train of cars behind him, but he also has the pace to get to Andy Maxwell, I think, as, by the way, the white flag is in the air.
Yes, it is. I'll let you say whatever you say on the white flag time so I won't mess it up again.
Sale la Blanca!
And we're on the final lap. And looking at Samson and David Ayers, Samson's car is heck of a lot beat up right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's suffering from a little bit of damage right now, but he is still on pace and looking to take down David Ayers in 9th place. Also, Silkston is right behind him as well. We got a slow car up ahead.
Westwood, yeah, that is lap car Westwood, who had some issues earlier. Oh, here we go!
Apex. It was on the apex of the turn, so I'm kind of surprised that it would be right there, but I would have expected a lot more guys to try something into here, but I expect a big old dive coming up to the setup turn for the carousel by Samson. Coming up to the drop, but switching over to the carousel right now. Starting fourth and finishing first, the American wins in America. Tyler Maxson takes the win here for race 1. And here comes Samson with that dive into the carousel, but a little bit too late for him. And unfortunately, he's going to be finishing in 10th behind David Ayers, but good race by Samson. He drags that beaten car home up in 10th place as, ooh, Michael Berry tried something into the carousel on that very hard-hitting, hard damaged Phil Reagan's car.
Yeah, Phil Reagan, one of the new signings for year 1 racing. And I tell you what, I think I have the replay of the crash.
All right, this is the, yeah, this is definitely the moment. Tool kill. Oh!
Oh!
That was just a turn in.
And then the optical car there getting involved, and the other optical car at the same time colliding with Andy Maxwell, and so it was a bad 5 seconds for Team Optical, as also in that mess there was some damage for Scott Malcolm, who managed to finish in P8, as we can, I think, go through the race results for race 1 in just 1 second.
Yeah, your race results for this race. I believe it was a commanding victory for Tyler Maxson. A very long team name for him, as it is cut off the side. But the only Fury Sport car in the top 18, surprisingly. But Tyler Maxson takes the win, followed by Ben Sharp, Carl Hardy, Carl Jacqueline, Craig Jones, Andy Maxwell, Steve Cooley, Scott Malcolm, David Ayers, Martin Sampson, Liam Silkstone, Max Wright, Dale Benison, Phil Regan, Michael Berry, Walter Van Essen, Charles Kellerman, Lee Dimmer, Alan Toon, Kip Stevens, Nicholas Swincone, Mark Westwood, and Steve Hansford finishing off at the end. And actually the only Fury Sport card on the grid.
So we have basically of the 23 cars that started, 22 of them will be eligible for the reverse grid, which should be on your screen right now, hopefully.
I think it's time to spin that wheel.
It really is, and as per usual, the number is equal to the cars that will be reversed. -1 will be the full grid -1 car. -2, -3, -4 will be a full reverse. Let's roll it. The wheel says -3, which of course will mean a full reverse for race 2. And this means, of course, that your pole sitter will be Mark Westwood, Nicholas Winsko in second. You can ignore Kip Stevens, he will be a pro starting from the back. Then Alan Toon, Lee Dimmer, and Charles Kellyman will be in the top 5. So the poor guys of Team Optical will at least get the consolation of starting close to the front, including Mark Westwood on pole. And who knows what can happen in this second race, because passing we've seen, it is possible around here, Austin, but you have to work for it.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to work to get up to the front, and if you're starting in front, you have to work to keep your car pointed straight. And Nicholas Wolfscon, being new to the series, we'll see what he's made of right here.
Awesome. So we are going to take just a small break, and we will be back for race 2. Don't go away.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail. Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome back to the BSR MX5 Money Cup for round 2. The wheel has been spun, and it's a full reverse grid with Charles Kellyman apparently starting up on pole, followed by Michael Berry, Phil Regan, Dell Bennison, Liam Silkson, Martin Sampson, David Ayers, Scott Malcolm, Steve Cooley, Andy Maxwell, Craig Jones, Carl Jacqueline, Carl Hardy, Ben Sharp, Tyler Maxon, Altitude, Nicholas Swinscone, Mark Westwood, Steve Hansen, Vuta Van Essen, Kip Stevens, Lee Deemer, and Max Wright starting up at the end. So, I believe the wheel lied to us.
Just a
last
bit.
time. Yeah, just a bit. We were saying Swinscone was going to get his first starting up on the front row in BSR, but apparently not so. And also, David Ayers not spawned in on the grid. So he'll be starting from the pit lane, apparently.
Well, not a lot of time to think about it because it's a very short run to the start-finish line, and matter of fact, the pace car is about to pull. Hard left, here we go.
And we're already racing, coming out of the carousel. They're going 3 wide back there, and it's Charles Kellyman taking the lead. But look at the year 1 cars. Bennison and Regan, they're so close to each other, but look how much of a lead that Kellyman has. Already, Tyler Maxon's up 5 places. I just believe that's from the pro drivers not being in there. A lot of cones being murdered back into the chute as they enter the keyhole.
Oh!
3 wide cars turning in, and that's Carl Jacqueline, championship leader, almost wanting to clinch it. I believe he could have clinched it if he finished top 10 this race. Well, that's going to be very hard for him right now.
Yes, but good for him that his car seems to be okay. Let's go on board. Steering is straight. It was a small tap. You know, it doesn't take a lot with these cars. Craig Jones is off.
Tyler Maxim's on the inside. I think Craig was just a little bit scared to see Tyler right there and took some avoiding measures. We might need to check on that replay after this chaotic first lap as everyone's coming down the drop and entering into the carousel. On board with Michael Berry, chasing down Kellyman. They go through the setup, and now the swing. Ooh, that's a lot of breaking into the carousel from Kellyman. Michael Berry, though, he's got a run going into the final corner. Can he get a lot of speed coming up into the keyhole turn? Staying outside of that draft right there, but I think he's just setting himself up for the first turn. Michael Berry riding on that curb back and gets very outside of him, and that yellow curb is the pit exit curb to tell drivers like me that you're exiting onto the track. It was scary when your Toyota just pitches up a few degrees. It's like, what's that?
So a
Lovely
relatively,
train of cars.
yeah, and relatively calm start of the race, apart for Jacqueline and Jones. Speaking of, Here we go with Jacolette trying to go past the 000 of Westwood. And I think having to wait a second because he's holding the inside is Westwood. Better
Oh, he's
doing
gonna
go
take
on
him
the
around the
outside.
outside.
Woo! Nice move,
That
very
is why
close.
that's why he's the leader of the championship. You expect all the inside moves to happen, but Carl Jacolette takes it on to the outside. Also, what the heck is happening for the battle for third right now? Benson silks on Reagan Max.
Oh
and Sampson.
no!
Oh,
Massive
so
hit.
sad. Massive hit. I don't know who hit him, but he's already teleported back to the pits, and he is furious.
So the two year one guys were side by side. Silkstone found the opening, went past, and then moved to the left, you know, slightly. But in these situations, you know, if you move just slightly towards one side, you are so close quarters, Austin. I think that it was a racing accident there.
Oh yeah, nothing was done deliberately. No one's really to blame. It's just cars trying to find their own stuff. You see this in IndyCar all the time on iRacing, not in real life. As Tyler Maxon sends it into the keyhole, and Tyler dive bomb Maxon is back up to third. He told us during the breakout why a few people were why all the Fury Simsport guys are no longer part of Fury Simsport and now a part of Year One. That is because I believe this is time to say it, that Year One is basically acquiring the guys from Fury, as Fury's not going to be participating in BSR MX5, so these guys are moving over to Year One. And Tyler said he would be flying the Fury flag until the end of the season.
Yeah, also exciting stuff coming in the future. Of course, we already started the Apex Racing League as look at that, Samson and Benison in this.
Look at Scott
here.
Malcolm.
Yeah,
Malcolm might try something in here as these cars are going in a tight group before, but Malcolm going extremely wide. He might have a run coming up into the drop. But Benison, Sampson, Sharp, Malcolm, and Cooley and Hardy, all these guys so close to each other. Here comes Sampson. And here comes Scott Malcolm on Ben Sharp, but Ben Sharp's got the inside line as they enter the carousel. Sampson's sticking to that darker line right there, and it's just beautiful seeing all these cars race so close.
and you know, in a track that has not a lot of long straights, apart from basically the one we're about to head into, so you know how big the draft is in these cars. That is taken away for the most part, so this is really a driver's racetrack in the sense that you have to, like we said earlier, work for your overtakes. Here we go. Samson on the inside of Benison. Bit sideways.
Sharp also. Yeah, Sampson does get Benison right there, as well as here comes Sharp as we're looking back from Sampson's car. Now Sampson and Benison. Benison does have the speed as he gives us a little bit of a little friendly Mazda tap right there. Showing off the radiator, I believe, but they're going pretty wide down the side straight, and here comes Ben Sharp up onto the inside, and Ben Sharp takes third, but Scott Malcolm's also in there. Scott Malcolm took a hit from the curb, and his car is a little bit upset from that, but they are keeping it on and keeping it going right now. But Ben Sharp leads out Sampson, and they're followed by Malcolm.
No!
And, Malcolm gets turned by Benison. And Malcolm gets off the track right there, avoiding more cars being catch up onto the crest of that hill as Tyler Maxon's fallen down to... Oh, wait, he was in third.
Yeah, he went wide, made a mistake, lost a lot of time. So, well, not a lot, but you can see the two leaders are distancing themselves from the very quick number 4 Fury Sim Sport Academy car. I was talking about the Apex Racing League GT, British GT series that started last week with great number of sign-ups. And of course the TCR car coming in the next build 2 weeks away, by the way, as Barry goes in for the move on the inside.
Michael Berry, he's lighting him up. He's putting the key into the keyhole, but can he turn the lock and gain access? And yes, he does. Michael Berry, your new leader, but he's defending onto the inside, and Kellyman's going to have the speed outside of the keyhole turn since he went around wide. And these guys not sharing any of the drafts with each other, but Tyler Maxon is sitting behind there. But Michael Berry and Charles Kellyman, they're switching positions. They're having a massive side-by-side battle as Berry's going to take the inside line and take P1. Kellyman's not going to let that go over easy.
No, he won't, but they have to be careful because Maxon is coming. Of course, 10 laps this second race, we are halfway point. Speaking of the TCR cars, of course, many series. Oh no, Steve Cooley is in the grass. I thought for a second I jinxed him during race 1, you know, and maybe he was flipping, but no, just enough, losing some time. So many leagues are organizing their TCR series. I have some, as Barry goes wide, very tasty news coming up for you for the TCR car, but you guys watching will just have to wait for a couple more weeks because there are great news on the horizon for TCR racing here on Apex Racing TV.
Very spicy news, I must say, as well. As Barry and Kelly and Barry hopping off into the grass just a little bit, doing a little bit of yard work, but look who is sneaking up behind him. You see his car just peeking out of the distance. That's Tyler Maxson. He's joined the fight. They're going through the keyhole turn and down this long straight. Michael Barry sitting into the middle of the track. Now, this is great defensive move by Barry. Not sitting on the very inside of the track, but he's going to sit on the... Oh, Tyler slowed down a lot. Right
yeah, I think he got a slowdown there, did Tyler?
That is... Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Also, let's see where the championship leader is. Carl Colette, P11, making his way through the field. After that moment, he was already starting a little bit behind because of the reverse grid. Now knocking on the doors of the top 10. We'll keep an eye on him as we have... we are on lap 6, starting lap 7 in just a second. As still, this fight for the lead is very spicy, I would say. And it seems like... we have a crash.
Oh, Bennison's still around. Once more, Bennison gets turned around, or being the one involved in the incident, but this time Bennison was turned around, and he's fallen down to 14th. I believe this might have been car to car. Yeah.
But with Carl Hardy there, Hardy is able to go through without issues, but for Dale Bennison there was a date with the Armco on the inside, and now, okay, three-way fight for the lead straight away because Maxson has joined the party.
Maxson with the switchback in the braking zone on Charles Kellyman. I don't think Kellyman... Oh, Kellyman's off the track. He was not ready for Maxson right there. He carried way too much speed in that corner. Try to force it out on the throttle, but unfortunately went wide, and now Tyler Maxson sitting in that draft to Michael Barry. Barry, watch yourself because Tyler Dipon Maxson is on your tail for the lead.
Oh, the engine!
Kellyman's blown his engine. At first, I thought that was just dirt, but
yeah,
no, that's smoke.
That is quite clearly smoke. And of course, it will create some pandemonium behind him as we have some bumping between Barry and Maxson. Maxson told us between race 1 and race 2 he wants to go for the hat-trick today, or should I say, well, today for you tonight and for him. And oh no!
Barry! Oh no! Mick Barry got loose on the exit and came across Maxson's nose. And Maxson didn't move out of the line as Mick Barry just lost control into Maxson. I don't think there was anything you can do with that as Carl Jacquelet passes up in him. And I believe Jacquelet is in clenching position right here. Here's that incident once more. Maxson up onto the inside, Barry around the outside. He gets a little bit loose right here and comes across the track right into Maxson. Now we've seen this happen so many times.
As we have a very smoky MX5 there going into the pits now. Ben Sharp and Martin Sampson are the two guys fighting for the win with Tyler Maxson. Extraordinary turn of events. I would have wanted to go and see because it was strange because Kellyman blew the engine on the straight, not going down the gears but going up, which was unless he uses an H pattern shifter and he went down instead of up, which can happen. It happens to the best. It happened to Dale Jr. a few years ago at Poco, no? So certainly even the best drivers can make that mistake.
He might have gone into the grass and was so slow he wanted to power out of it, shifted down it. That probably has happened because I've done that by accident a few times as we're looking down the battle for 6. Hardy and Regan. These guys going side by side. Regan around the outside. Unfortunately, cannot hold on to it as Carl Hardy takes P6. But Carl Jacquelette's up to 4th now.
As we have an Excite car running around. What's that?
Deemer.
It is Lee Dimmer, so we'll have to update the overlay between race 2 and race 3. As Reagan and Maxwell still going at it, as we have this nice view from high above. As we are entering the penultimate lap of the race, lap 9, you can see on the counter.
Ooh, around the outside of that carousel. That was a beautiful defensive move by Regan. He gave Maxwell all the room he needed, but Maxwell unfortunately couldn't do it. And now he might fall to Scott Malcolm, who's up onto the inside and heading into turn 1. This is something
Sorry
you
if
don't really
I had
see.
to cut away, but Sharp is so close.
Sharp dive bombing on Mr. Dive Bomb. These two are going side by side. The former teammates.
No!
Oh, Tyler Maxson!
And Maxon is slowing down, I think.
Yeah, he is slowing down from that, or just falling to the draft, but Samson is back in the lead. That's going to cause a little bit of controversy.
It will. Let's see a replay of that.
That is 2 cars turned. I do not know why. I do not know the exact implications. We'll just look up top. Either Sharp went a little bit wide and tried to... Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Sharp tried to close off Maxon as Maxon just stayed on the line.
And he went
Maxon
back
had
past.
nowhere to go.
Went back past. So that is going to be a lot of work for the race officials in the week. I have to say, Jacquelet in all of this is in 3rd place, by the way, as the white flag is in the air. Sale la Blanca here in the race 2. And I tell you what, Martin Sampson has more than a chance. Maxon's car has to have some kind of damage because he hit and was hit, you know, left and right.
Small damage on the front right. Small damage on the front right. Just a little bit of bodywork damage. I don't think Tyler would have any major damage because all of these were just accidental. Carl Jacquelet was off just a little bit. Oh, and he's taking a massive ride. Believe that is Craig Jones ahead of him. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
and Tyler Maxson and Samson. Well, going to the keel, Samson's gonna try anything. He saw what's happened to the cars ahead of him, and they unfortunately get magnetized into Tyler's car. Tyler is in America, so his ping might be playing a bit of an issue for the other cars on track, which explains some of the turning from a few other people.
As a mistake from Jones, because I think a slowdown, because Chocolate went past him with ease and back into the podium, and I think this will allow Carl to put the other end on the trophy. We'll have confirmation after the night is done. But Maxon, not without controversy, going for 2 out of 2 and looking like we told earlier for the hat-trick of wins.
Yeah, he wanted to sweep the top step of the podium today like he did earlier on in the year, which I forgot which race that was in. Oh, that was last round. 2 out of 2, where he did it in Nürburgring. Can he do it 3 out of 3 here in Mid-Ohio? Well, he's got 2 out of 2 right now. Tyler Maxson comes across the line for another victory here in Mid-Ohio. He's followed by Samson, and Carl Jacquelet takes 3rd and stands on the podium in triumph. And I believe that gave him the championship right there.
I think it did. So 4th straight victory for Tyler Maxson, if my maths are correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. As all the other drivers are coming home safe and sound. We have this fight for P19. This could be, you know, people might think, oh, why are you fighting for these places? And, you know, of course, it's because the reverse grid might fall in your favor, and Toon will beat Bennison, and finishing in P20 will be Stevens. Let's see. Now I will need all my powers to go back to what happened. You know, I still haven't been fired for a reason, because most of the times I can find my replays, you know, with ease.
Yeah, so Caliban went wide, comes back in there, and I believe, and he's following
Oh,
Tyler Maxton right here. So,
but he didn't go down the gears. And there he goes. There goes the engine.
what the? That is odd.
Very odd.
So there was a massive pop as he did that. I think he shifted up and then maybe skipped 2 gears and shifted down one or something.
It sounds like if you listen, I think you can hear his car like going into when you basically the car is stuck in neutral and because you didn't press the clutch very well and you cannot go up the gear. Listen, seems like it's stuck in neutral. Here.
Oh, there's the shift, and there it just goes. Yeah, either he forgot to press down the clutch or something just went wrong, but that's unfortunate for Charles Kelly, man.
Very
It's
unfortunate
massive.
for him. Yeah, I think he managed to finish the race
Yes,
in
he
a
did.
position eligible for the reverse. Let's see from the race results.
Tyler Maxton finishes on top of the podium once more. He's followed by Martin Sampson, Carl Jacqueline, Craig Jones, Carl Hardy, Ben Sharp, Phil Regan, Andy Maxwell, Lee Dimmer, Michael Berry, Scott Malcolm, Steve Cooley, Nicholas Swinsko, Motivan Essen, David Ayers, Charles Kellyman, Max Wright, Alan Toon, Dale Benson, Steve Hansford, Kip Stevens, Mark Westwood, and Lean Siltstone finishing out in P23. Unfortunately, 9 laps down. So 21 cars available for the reverse grid. I have no idea what that gap is for Nicholas Swinsko.
Don't worry, he's eligible. Like say that the
He's eligible.
last car theoretically eligible for the reverse, as you can see now, it's Kip Stevens, even though of course he will start from the pits regardless. But for all intents and purposes, we have 21 cars eligible for the reverse grid wheel. The wheel is on your screen, and so let's roll it. The bribes are coming in very quickly. A bit too late for some drivers. But the highest bribe was for sure the one sent in by Alan Toon. He will start from pole position in front of Charles Kellyman. Max Wright is a pro, he will start from the back. Then David Ayers, Nicola Zwinscon, and Steve Cooley will be your top 5 for race 3, the final race of the night. We'll see if we get another night race as we had in the past couple of rounds. You know, and it's very, very...
It's going to be a sunset race. Mid-Ohio doesn't have lights around the track.
You know, the classic, you know, the one we have seen lately, which is, you know, sunset with boatload of cloud cover,
Yeah.
which gives a very, very scenic, you know, view for and the cameras, and it makes a great show. So one more race to go. 2 are already down. Tyler Maxson going for 3 for 3. Karja Colette probably already the champion-elect. We will have more after this message from our lovely sponsors.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Howdy, 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 and welcome back. It's nighttime here in Mid-Ohio. Race number 3 is underway. Well, it's about to get underway, and Alan Toon's starting up on pole, followed by Charles Kellerman, David Ayers, Steve Cooley, Scott Malcolm, Michael Barris, Andy Maxwell, Phil Reagan, Ben Sharp, Carl Hardy, Craig Jones, Carl Jacqueline, with Martin Sampson and Tyler Maxson starting in 14th. They're followed by Dale Bennison, Steve Hampshire, Kip Stevens, Lee Zimmer, Max Wright, and Wouter van Essen picking up the very last spot of this 20-car grid, as everyone's just lined up on the side of the track and getting ready to go green here for one last time in the BSR MX5 Monday Cup.
Yes, the lights are on, and with this one, after this race, of course, there will be only one meeting left from Road Atlanta, Road America. Oh dear, I think it's Road Atlanta next week. Still, either one, a beautiful track. Alan Toon will start from pole position then, and the pace car, as per usual, immediately taking the hard left, and we are racing.
And we are green, and ready to go here for one last time. Under the lights, a bunch of bosses. Alan Toon leads him out with Charles Kelly. He started on the front row. He knew how to take that start, but they're going 3 wide into turn 1 right now. Scott big
massive
hit right
wreck.
there. Chaos at the start. Chaos. Absolute chaos at the start. They're going
Poor
4
Kellyman.
wide.
Kellyman had a terrible night, and it is not going any better.
Very unfortunate for Kelly. Last race blew his engine. This race gets absolutely murdered at the start. Yeah, there's a giant gaggle of cars, but Scott Malcolm takes the lead of race number 3. And I see Tyler Maxson back there. He's getting swamped by 2 other cars. They're going 3 wide back there. But side by side for P2 is David Ayers and Alan Toon. Alan Toon going wide now. Steve Cooley jumps it into P3. But Alan Toon now has the inside line. Alan takes it back, and here comes Phil Regan and Tyler Maxson joining the fray.
Oh, look at Maxson. What a run.
Where the speed out of nowhere for Tyler Maxson, blowing past everybody through these S-curves and the hills. And yeah, Tyler has completely trounced the entire field right there. He's already up 10 places.
Poor Alan Toon being swamped. You know?
Yeah, Alan's being swamped by a lot of cars.
I know the feeling, you know, and you are terrified. You are afraid to make a mistake, to get in the way of these faster drivers. It's always, you know, but you know, I'm sure Alan has got a lot of talent in him. You know, this is his first season in the series, so this is all part of a big learning experiences from 1st to 12th and now 13th in the opening lap. As Tyler Maxson putting the pressure on Steve Cooley for the podium.
Yeah, Cooley is beating the dive bomb of Tyler Maxson, and there he goes up into P4. Oh wait, that was Ben Sharp. No, that was Steve Cooley.
It was Steve Cooley. Now, Ben Sharp, speaking of him, trying to find a way past his teammate, whilst behind Carl Jacolette and Phil Regan are swapping positions, other 2 year 1 competitors. So Sharp, Cooley, Martin Sampson there in 6th place, and here we go with Jacolette, Regan, Craig Jones side by side with Dale Bennison, and behind them, no, it was, I'm confused because there. Oh, why is Kip Stevens running with a year 1 livery? I think he might have stole one of their cars in the paddock area.
Gosh dang it, Kip. I believe Kip is just messing with us right now.
You know, he cannot mess with his name anymore because we went, you know, we are a bit, you know, we took the proper precautions, you know, but so he's trying to get back at us with, you know, stealing other people's cars.
Yeah, on our timing screens, he renamed himself to Mike Hunt Hertz. And that's not fooling us right now. He's actually in a completely different numbered car. And Carl Hardy's Carl Hardy's into the pit lane.
Carl Hardy is into the pit lane. You are absolutely right. Maybe a penalty or maybe
It's a
some damage.
smashed up car.
Yeah.
I believe that's on damage, and he doesn't want to continue driving on this track right now. So that's why he goes in there. Scott Malcolm, David Ayers. Here comes Tyler Maxson.
Yeah.
Tyler has got the charge on. David Ayers gets swamped by Tyler Maxson for P2, and now Tyler chasing out Scott Malcolm for P1. But David Ayers not going to let that go by, as well as Ben Sharp trying to deny Tyler of win number 3.
So Maxson with a nice move there, as we see back there at the front now. Scott Malcolm certainly the next target for the Fury Sim Sport driver, going for three as Martin Sampson back into the barriers with his rear end, which I think will be damaged. Too bad, because he was having a nice run. Now he's around maybe some suspension damage, and now he, does.
Yeah.
He at the very least he made, a hit in the back, a hit at the front should equal the damage, and the aero of the car. That's what I think when I do something like that.
Allegedly. Well, Tyler Maxson chasing down Scott Malcolm. Scott was involved in that incident at the very start, and Tyler Maxson's all over the rear end, and I believe Scott's going to hang on to the inside of the keyhole, but Tyler Maxson, he knows his way around the outside as well. Going into the keyhole turn. Here comes Tyler Maxson around the outside.
Oh,
Scott
no, they touch
him! Ben Sharp gets spun around. I believe David Ayers might have been involved, but Tyler's got the switchback going on, and he's got the overspeed on Scott Malcolm, and your new leader. Well, not new to him, because he's been in the lead for most of this night, but Tyler Maxson is back in the lead. And that is Scott Malcolm as they head into this little flick of a right-hander.
The server keeps giving Tyler a different number. By the way, it was number 4 in race 2, now he's number 8. I think he was number 1 in race 1, I don't know. But certainly they have some, lots of variety with the numbers. For some of the drivers, other drivers have had their numbers for ages, like the 74 of Scott Malcolm. Let's see what happened to Ben Sharp.
We're going to have to replay. Ben Sharp around the outside, gets onto the brakes, and David Ayers, get out right into the side of him and turns him around. It's a little bit of a tap, not a pit maneuver as some NASCAR fans that go into it, but that is a bump and run, unfortunately, for Ben Sharp.
Barry and Dial Benison, as we are already halfway through this race. It has gone past very quickly tonight. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 10 laps is too short of a distance for the races tonight, because
well, it's the exact same distance as we had through all the other races. Just 15 minutes. What a line by Barry.
As there the front, it's in front. It's Kip Stevens with, I think he must have stole. I think we know that Dan Blake now is signed for year 1, so that must be Dan Blake's car, because he's not racing.
Yeah, that's also the 87 car that Kip has stolen.
Not the 13?
Yeah, on the back end, that says
the
87 car.
Oh, God, you're right. Oh, but we can go on board and see. He stole... oh, no, there is no special discount code.
That's just the base code. He stole the promotional card. Oh, man, Kip. What have you done?
Okay, so at the front of the field, Tyler Maxson, then Scott Malcolm in second, his teammate David Ayers is in third, then Carl Jacolette. I tell you what, I think he stole Steve Cooley's car.
Oh, that is Steve Cooley's car.
Yeah? But Steve Cooley has his personal sticker, so at least he didn't steal that.
Okay, is this...
Oh, that was his spare car, of course, the backup car of Steve Cooley.
Yeah, this is his promotional backup car, the one without all of his branding. As Kip Stevens jumps up into P6, right behind his doppelganger. That's great.
Sharp is in the process of trying to go past Jones. As they are side by side, we've seen many, even in the IndyCar race in real life, in the final few laps, I remember this year, contact
Oh my
there.
goodness.
Sending,
Oh, that was such great racing in the IndyCar series around this track.
Beautiful race. I absolutely agree.
Beautiful, close racing. A few lap cars were involved in that massive pack, but it was just an amazing race. Also, looking back, I see Steve Hansford and Dale Benison getting into it, but Ben Sharp sends it up on Craig Jones. Oh, a little bit of sidestepping tire action, setting Craig Jones up on two wheels, and I believe Ben Sharp's going to give him that space back, or not too much. No, Ben Sharp not giving him any room. Well, he's leaving himself. Oh, they get into it. Crash. Oh, Jones turned into Sharp, and they both went off track right there. Jones coming off way more worse than Sharp in that incident. I think we might need an onboard replay of that, as it looks like Benison tapped the wall. So onboard Craig Jones. This is when that two-wheel tap happened. Actually, it's a little bit before it. And, yep, went across the track. Kept it out of the wall, though. On board with Ben Sharp. Yeah, that's just the car going across the track into him.
And you know, when you hook in these cars, we said that many times over, it's very hard to unhook. So once you are hooked with another car, the crash, the morphing into each other is almost inevitable. So, lap 7 out of 10 with Dale Bennison in front of Hansford and Barry in this fight here, whilst the leader is still Tyler Maxson. The championship, the champion-elect Carl Jacolet is sitting there in 4th as we have a mistake from Kip Stevens, aka not Steve Cooley, and he is back into the pits.
Well, that serves you right for messing with us. But very unfortunate for Kip Stevens. Let's see what happened to him.
Who is going to pay for the damage of this car?
Well, it's Steve Cooley's car. Who let him into this car?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's just oversteer. Oversteer and into the wall for Kip Stevens. Sorry, I saw the 87. Thought it was Steve. But Tyler Maxson has a massive lead over Scott Malcolm right now. It's a 3-second gap that he has.
2.8, yes, absolutely. As in front of him, there's Craig Jones going wide, right in front of our leader. And luckily for him, he's still a little bit far, in front of him. Only one fight, we can say, or a couple of fights on the racetrack. This is another one with Bennison, Hansford, and Barry. The fight for P8, 9, and 10 with Michael Barry's car looking like it had better days. Smashed at the front and at the back.
That car is bruised more than an old banana. But he can still drive it. And he's following Hansford and Bennison. Hansford locked his car on the back of Bennison, and he's looking for any way to get... Oh! That is not the locking I wanted to see. As Bennison gets spun around by Hansford. Looked like Bennison tried to go a little bit wide and try to tempt Hansford to go into the inside. We might need a replay from up above to see what exactly happened as Sharp and Reagan are swapping positions.
How many times we have seen this crash tonight? Because, all the crashes we've had basically have been like this tonight.
No, that was just him trying to go around the outside.
Yeah, and miscalculation of the space. Maybe he wasn't expecting his rival to slow down that much.
Or both of them turning at the exact same point. Well, Kip Stevens coming out of the pits ahead of Tyler Maxson. Tyler's going to easily swamp fake Steve Cooley as they go into... Oh, no, fake Steve Cooley is going to pressure Tyler Maxson even though he's a lap down. I believe he's just having a bit of fun right now.
But you can say that if Tyler were to race next season as well, or not only here but also maybe in the Pro Series, should he decide not to do the broadcast for that anymore, he has to be considered for a pro seat, because he's showing. I mean,
Dominance.
in the first few races, and this is the purpose of the series, of course. In the first few races that he did, the first few rounds, he was there or thereabouts at the front, winning races, but never showing the same dominance that he has shown. This would be his 5th straight race win, 2 at the Nordschleife, 3 tonight, and he's only 1.5 laps away, a little bit less than that, to be honest, from achieving this impressive result.
Yeah, he's just a bit too aggressive in a certain situation that gets involved in a lot of incidents, as we've seen, as McBarry's in the wall. Very unfortunate for McBarry.
He was
What's
having a
happened
good run.
to Barry? Yep, gets tapped. Tap, turn, too much on the lap paddle. Very unfortunate for McBarry. Sitting in 7th. Ben Sharp falls to P7 around the outside of the carousel. He went off track a little bit earlier from that. And he's sitting behind a Phil Reagan as it's white flag for the last time tonight here in Mid-Ohio.
It is absolutely 5.4 seconds the lead for Tyler Maxson over Scott Malcolm, who is in fact falling into the clutches of his teammate David Ayres. So it's all to play for the 2nd and 3rd spots on the podium, but for the race lead is going to be Tyler Maxson, I think, sweeping once again the proceedings just like he did last week. Ben, Sharp and Reagan are side by side as they go on to the backstretch. Sharp will have the inside and I think enjoy the better run. And Reagan, teammate, new teammate, not fighting it out. New teammates, sorry, because they have new acquisitions for year 1, not fighting it out too hard. The biggest loss that we have in all of this, of course, also the Fury Simsport name, which of course has been held up high by Tyler Maxson, is the beautiful year 1 livery of Fury Simsport Academy, because that was absolutely fantastic, but Tyler Maxson will be very happy regardless. 3 out of 3, 5 straight wins.
Yeah, Tyler comes across the line to sweep the podium of the top set of the podium one more time. And he takes his 5th win in a row here, followed by Scott Malcolm, David Ayres, Carl Chocolate, Steve Cooley, Ben Sharp. As we're looking at Hansford and Deemer all over the place in that Excite car. That's a new signee for him. And Deemer, ooh, lovely switchback move on the back of Hansford, but unfortunately the front straight is not helpful in any way for Deemer. As we got Samson and Barry finishing side by side of each other. Samson taking the spot on Barry. What what crazy races we saw today. A lot of incidents.
It was more, I mean, this series always delivers, but I was expecting a more subdued, kind of racing tonight, more tactical, so to speak. That wasn't the case. I mean, we had some exciting action all over the place, and 3 extremely entertaining races with a lot of surprises. Tyler Maxson sweeping the day, but I mean, there were many great moments, great passes, crazy overtakes, and I think we can look forward to the final round of the season with hope, because it certainly will be the proper finale to this summer series of the Amateur Cup of the BSR MX5 Monday series. Speaking of final results, by the way, here they come, and this will be your final results for race 3. So the final race of the night, here we go, with the official, unofficial race results.
Official result is Tyler Maxson sweeping the day right now, and I believe he's doing some donuts in the background. He's followed by Scott Malcolm, David Ayres, Carl Chocolate, Steve Cooley, Ben Sharp, Phil Regan, Max Wright, Steve Hansford, Lee Dimmer, Martin Sampson, Michael Berry, Dale Bennison, Andy Maxwell, Alan Toon, Carl Hardy, Charles Kelly, man, Craig Jones, Fake Steve Cooley and Wout van Essen.
Yes, as the sun is setting over the racetrack and the cars are slowly coming back to the pits, I can confirm that the next round, which is going to be, and final round, will be from Road America. So it's going to be a slipstream party. And that makes me very, very happy because Road America, if it was a European track, would be one of the most popular tracks in the world. Now, since it's in North America, we in Europe, not me, but people in Europe tend to think of North American tracks as lesser tracks. But Road America for me is one of the best circuits in the world, and in the top five personally for me. Even though I'm terribly slow around there, it is going to be exciting. I don't know. I know you have experience around here. Do you have experience on Road America, Austin?
Actually, yes. Yes, I do have experience around Road America. That I had my first podium actually in Road America. So I have a lot of memories right there. Also, Tyler has a lot of experience around Road America as well.
Well,
And you can see him.
let's
You can
bring him
actually
in
see
then,
him. Yeah, let's bring him in.
so he can talk to us about that. Yeah, should be there with you, Austin.
Howdy, 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 Tyler. This is Austin Knight in the comps booth. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing just fantastic. 3 wins today.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad way to end on home turf. I think this is, at least for me, it's the first race I've run in the BSR Championship on, at least on home soil semi. So yeah, really awesome to be back in America and able to capture 3 wins.
It was certainly dominating, and you definitely did have home field advantage, I must say. A lot of spins and incidents for you throughout the out the race. Anything you want to comment on those?
Um, Race 2 was with me and Ben. It was a little bit of netcode, a little bit of me. I'll take the blame for it. It sucks, but it's part of racing, and he gets that. I sent him a message and apologized for that one, but yeah, no, I think the incident with Mick was a bit of both of us. But that's pretty much all I got for those. Um, yeah, a bit unfortunate, but should be good.
All right, all right, all right. Well, we are finishing out the season in Road America, and I know you have a lot of experience there. I saw your race online on the Masa YouTube channel there, and you were all over the place. Do you think you can repeat the same progress without crashing out?
Definitely. I think I've got such a great handle on Road America. Though I haven't driven it in this exact car, I've driven it in a very similar car, so I'm more than ready for Road America, and definitely think that I've got a good shot to do another hat trick there.
All right, all right. Confident words. Well, thank you, Tyler. You provided a great show for us. Anyone we want to shout out?
Yeah, definitely. Just shout out all the guys over at Fury did an absolutely amazing job. Yeah, super excited to keep on going and next week and see what next season brings.
All right. Well, thank you, Tyler, for a great day and a great show. Uh, you can head out now and enjoy your night.
All right, thanks, you guys too.
Afternoon, really. All right. After that, we also have Carl Hardy. Let's bring him in here. Howdy, 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 Carl. How you doing?
Hi, Austin. Yeah, good night that was. I think I've wound up the championship. I'm absolutely stoked. Well chuffed.
All right. Marco, anything you want to say to Carl?
Well, first of all, Carl, congratulations. Uh, Especially in race 2, you were able to come back from troubles straight away, and you were very, very calm. I saw, at least from my perspective here, you didn't let drama get in your way. You raced with a cool head, and you went on with 3 very good results, and that is what wins championships in the end, no?
Yeah, you've got to keep out of trouble. You've got to keep racking up those points. Um, I try and race with a thought in my racing all the time. I don't want to just go mad and set fastest laps and get in trouble. You've got to race to finish, and that's what I've been focusing on the entire championship. Is picking my battles and trying to stay clean and practice, 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 and practice. I have done so much practice this season, and it's
Yeah,
really
I mean,
showed.
and it shows exactly practice is very, very important, and it shows, um, that the more time you spend in the car, the more you get used to it, and you can say that basically no matter where you start, when you practice, you are inevitably bound to get to a better level than when you were at the beginning. No? You basically started running this car and the series a few months ago, and at least from up here, the strides you have made were very, very impressive.
I remember my first race with BSR at the short national track at Silverstone. I was lapped during the race, and I thought, "What am I doing here?" But no, I just got my head down, worked at it, and it well, it's paid off. I'm in- incredibly happy. It's a bit of a battle today with the computer, thanks to Microsoft and their blimmin' updates. I wish I could stop it doing it. You get the computer working fine, everything's working great. This machine only runs this sim, it doesn't do anything else at all. Microsoft send an update down and it all goes to worms again. I love them. I wish it would run on in Linux.
So I guess in the first race you had a freeze because you
Yeah,
disappeared and reappeared behind. Yeah, so we figured
yeah,
that
it was
as
about a
much.
5 second freeze, I think.
Yeah,
But
I mean, you also had to overcome that. So I mean, man, congratulations. We will get, of course, official news uh, tonight or tomorrow with when the points will come out. But I can I called you the champion elect during the broadcast. I think that will be the case. Will you be around to parade with your trophy in Road America next week?
oh, absolutely, yeah. I will be. I think I'm going to try and give Tyler a run for his money next week because
Oh, should I bring it
I,
back in here? Little fighting words.
I've very much been letting him go, not racing against him, because I don't want to get I don't want to get in conflicts where I don't need to. You pick your fights. But
All right,
next
all right.
week it's open season.
I don't know if Tyler wants to ask you something
I
before
think
we
he's
let you
gone.
go.
Nah,
Ti-
he's gone.
Austin,
Tyler's gone.
sorry. I mean, you have
Oh,
to understand. I'm
oh,
getting
Well,
older and older.
I messed up his name. He can mess up you can mess up my name. It's all
I don't know
fair
if
game.
Austin wants to ask you something before we let you go.
Will you be running a special championship livery?
Oh, that's a good question.
oh, good question. I don't know. I'll ask Graham from Year One Flip Flops if he wants to do something special.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens next week. Thank you for the great season. Congrats on the
Thank you.
championship, and we'll see you next week. And give us all a show.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for the great commentary and the brilliant broadcast. I always look forward to watching it back on the Tuesday.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the kind words. Congratulations. And, well, make room in your trophy cabinet because this is the first of many. Catch you next week, Carl. Congratulations
Yeah,
again.
thank you very much indeed. Cheers.
And that was Carl Giacolette. Yes, I think we might have announced him as Carl Hardy for a second.
Yes, I accidentally did say Cara Hardy. My bad.
Then you might have been very confused when he said that he was happy to have won the title. No, for a second.
Yes,
What?
when he said that, I was like, oh wait, this is the wrong Carl.
I mean,
It just says his first name for me on Discord. I'm just like, oh okay.
well, as a rule of thumb, Carl Hardy is with a K and Carl Giacoletti is with a C. So next
I
time,
realized my mistake.
I mean, we all make them, you know. So, but I mean, Tyler, not Austin. Austin, you see? See, it's one of those nights. Uh, what a fantastic night of racing! And what do you expect from Road America next week?
Chaos, absolute fun, and great draft battles.
And you know, I
That's
think
all I have to say.
it's going to be, title probably wrapped up, both the drivers and the and the championship, team championship already wrapped up. So teams and drivers will be racing with a free mind, and when that is the case, usually I mean, we see some crazy
They all
races
go for it.
all
They
week
all
long.
go for it.
Yeah, exact. So it is going to be a fantastic fantastic event. So that will be next Monday at 7:15 GMT. We quickly remind you that tomorrow 10:45 GMT we are going to have the official IMSA Oceanic Strength of Field race later in the day at 6 GMT. We are going to have the VRS GT Sprint Series, and at 7:15 GMT, of course, the BSR Pro Series of the MX5 from this particular racetrack. On Wednesday we are off. On Thursday, the penultimate round, sorry, of the BSRTC Pro Series, the penultimate race round with the Kia before the new TCR car comes, so you don't want to miss that. And of course, Friday it's Le Mans Series time. Saturday we round up the season for the Sim Racers Asia F3 Championship. And in the evening, of course, the Euro V8s will be back. Before Sunday, we wrap up the week with the Aussie Mixed and Fixed Development GT Series. Certainly a lot to look forward to. And as per usual, Austin, you will have the honor to close out the broadcast.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you all the drivers for a great season. We'll see you next week at Road America. I've been joined by Marco Barbernera. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.